Welcome to Mind Over Matter. I'm your host, Margaret Boyne, and my guest today is 17 years old, Kimberly Cross. She's the first student from her high school to have been awarded a scholarship to an Ivy League school, the famed Princeton University. And not just a scholarship either, but a fully ride one. I'm looking forward to this chat with this remarkable young lady. Welcome to Mind Over Matter, Kimberly, and congratulations are in order.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
And we need to understand how difficult it is to actually get into Princeton. I mean, it has a 5.5 percentage acceptance rate. So we just want to tell our listeners that it is not no pian school. You know, this is top of the top. I mean, Michelle Obama went to Princeton. Yes. Right. So, Kimberly, how did you feel when you first heard the news that you were awarded this scholarship?
So, basically, it was a random school day. So, I tried to distract myself with school, but coincidentally, all my classes were like canceled. Like, my teachers were either out or sick. So, I kind of was just left with all the nerve just waiting. So there was a rumor going around that the results would be coming out at 6 p.m. But then all of a sudden it comes out at 3 p.m. and I'm just like, wait, hold on, what's going on? So I opened the email and I recorded myself just hoping that I would get in. And I had my fingers crossed and I was like, I prayed before I said, God, please, I need this. And then I opened it and I saw the big congratulations and I was just like, wait. What's going on? And then I saw Princeton University, and then I looked at myself and said, little me going to an Ivy League institution, it was crazy. Like, I couldn't wrap my head around it then, and I still can't wrap my head around it, even wearing the shirt. I still can't. But it was just unbelievable. Like, I was speechless. I was speechless, and I was proud of myself. Like, finally, all my hard work has paid off. So, it's been exciting.
Great. So you migrated to the United States in 2019. So let's start at the beginning. Tell me about your family. What was your home life like here in Jamaica?
So my home dynamic was very interesting. So it was a single income household. My mom was the only one working. She was a store clerk at Max's department store in Portmore. She wasn't really getting much. Yes.
Max's? Okay.
She wasn't really getting like a lot of money. She wasn't making like a big check. It was just enough to cover like bills, groceries, and stuff like that. So we were definitely living from paycheck to paycheck. And unfortunately, my dad was unemployed at the time, so there wasn't any money coming from him. So it was just solely my mom. Just bringing in that little paycheck every day to try to stretch it for everything.
Right.
So yeah, that stretching definitely caused like a lot of conflict when it comes between both of my parents. So there was a lot of arguing all the time. There was a lot of like chaos. They weren't the best of lovers. So there was a lot of conflict all the time. They didn't really agree, if you would say it like that. They don't really agree. And yeah, it was a lot like living in Portmore. I lived in Portmore. Our house, there was like a lot of stuff. Like our house was like slowly deteriorating, and like there was like flooding all the time when it used to rain. It was like a lot of stuff, but it all started. I went to Bright Beginnings Educational Center in Portmore as well, and I tried, regardless of the circumstances. Like I tried to not let the circumstances like affect my academic, because I realized that my academics kind of distracted my parents from what was going on, and like when they saw that, oh, I got a good grade on a test, they wouldn't be worrying about, oh, how the next bill was gonna be paid, or what if we're gonna get enough money to buy food and stuff like that. So I used that as motivation to be like, hey, I need to work hard, distract my parents, make sure they're happy, and not like worrying about what's the next move or what's the next thing. So yeah, at Bright Beginnings, I did really good. I did pretty good. I was a part of the quiz team. I was also doing math Olympiad. I did dancing. I did a bunch of stuff. I tried to dabble with everything, while at the same time, because Bright Beginnings is a private institution, so obviously you had to pay school fee. And I
Okay.
remember I had to be worrying whether or not I was gonna get kicked out of the school because
Right.
I knew that my school fee wasn't paid, and I was just going there just of pure luck, just because they kept me there because they knew that I was doing well. And I had to be like
Okay.
worrying every day when I see the vice principal coming, like, is she gonna give me a letter saying that I
Right.
can't return to school until my school fee is paid? So that's definitely something I had at the back of my head. But like I said, I tried to distract myself by like, and distract myself and distract my parents, being like, hey, I need to work hard. I need to work hard so I can get out of this situation and do better. Then the next step in my journey was Immaculate Conception High School. So I did
Oh,
GSAT at the
immaculate.
time, and I got placed in Immaculate. I was really excited. So that was really a journey that really molded me a lot and kind of shaped me to become the student I am when I moved to East Orange. So it was really
Right.
good.
Yeah.
Um, a lot of the stuff like I had to get help for. Like I a lot of people didn't know at the time because I didn't really like expose like my socioeconomic status. So a lot of people just assumed that I had stuff, but
Oh, yeah. And,
yeah, yeah, a lot
brown
of people
skin
just
and that sort of thing.
a lot of people just
Yeah.
assumed that I had stuff, but I didn't really talk
Right.
about it because I just didn't want anybody to know that type of side of me. So there was times where I had to like borrow textbooks from people that graduated. My mom had to ask people to like make uniforms for me because she couldn't like afford to buy the uniforms from the store and stuff like that. So it's definitely a lot. But at Bright Beginnings, no, I'm sorry, at Immaculate,
At immaculate. Yeah.
it was really a it like it shaped me a lot. It shaped me to become like the individual that I am because it made me like more like disciplined and stuff like that. So started at grade 7. It was good. I was a good student. Like I wasn't the top student 'cause, you know, everybody that goes to Immaculate are at the top of their class. So everybody there is just the top of their class and competing. But I was definitely with the rest of the people. I was not the
Oh,
top,
you're
but I was
the
with
top.
them. I was with them.
Right.
Yeah, so
Okay.
I maintained the same old thing where I dabbled in a little stuff. So I still did math Olympiad. I still did math club. I did octagon club and stuff like that. And that just progressed until grade 10 where I was prepping for CXC. Little did I know that I was going to be moving, but I was planning to do 10 subjects plus the required religious education that Immaculate offered as a Catholic school. But I did that. It was quite a journey. There's a lot of people there that I miss so much. My friends, they've been so.
Yes, and here's a chance to hail up some of those immaculate past students
Okay,
and teachers.
definitely. I just want to say, like these friends have been like, even though we're like miles apart right now, they every little thing they're the first one to be like, oh my god, congratulations. So definitely my grade 10 friend group. So Shakira, Ari, Chelsea, Chelsea, Safia, everybody, Brianna. So definitely those people are people that I can't wait to visit again. Hopefully I'll see them soon. But yeah,
Okay.
I left
So you
my
migrated at 10th grade?
yes, I left Immaculate at
Was it
10th grade at
10th
the ending
grade?
of 10th grade.
Right. So how did you feel about migrating?
If I'm being honest, I did not like the idea at all. I was upset. I was really upset. Crazy thing, I didn't even talk to I like when I found out. It was like a weird way I found out. My mom was just like, we were walking to the bus stop one day because I had to take the bus. That's another thing. I had to take the bus to school every day. I had to wake up like really early, take the bus and go to school. But I was not happy with it. My mom kind of threw it on me. She was just like, "Hey, I need to go to your school to talk to your principal because we're moving." And I was just like, "What are you talking about?
Moving where?
What are you talking about? I was not in this discussion at all." And I was like mad at her. I didn't talk to her for a week. I was just mad. And I remember I came to school and it was religious education class and I just put my head down on the desk and I was like crying. I was crying because I was just like, I'm leaving everything behind. Like Jamaica is what I know. Jamaica is what I'm accustomed to.
Right.
My friends, my family, my dad. I was worried about leaving my dad by himself. there's like a lot of things that I was accustomed to, and I was afraid of the unknown. That was what I was afraid of, deadly afraid of the
Yeah.
unknown. And I remember I like slipped. I wrote a note to my friends and be like, "Oh, I'm moving," and they had the same shock that I did. They're just like, "Wait, what?"
You're right.
Yeah.
What?
So I literally the entire rest of the time I didn't want to tell my friends because I didn't want them to be upset. So I only told two people. I told my friend Shakir and Ari.
Okay.
But eventually my friends, like, they're smart people. They figure it out. So I was just really sad because I knew that the days that I had with my friends and with my dad was gonna be like less than every day. So I was like not up. I was really not happy with it. I was just like, what if I don't fit in with the school? What if my grades mess
Right.
up? What if you know, everybody has their friend group already. They've been in high school with each other for a long time. How am I gonna how am I gonna like submerge myself into these people? The new environment, the new weather, all of this stuff. I just like,
Right. You had a lot of fears.
yeah, different things were just going through my head. I was just like,
Right.
I don't know if I'm gonna be able to like just like integrate myself into this new environment. So that was a lot. I was like not happy with it. But my-
Well, how did you adjust when you actually went?
I I honestly like I literally when I came, I adjusted pretty well and I adjusted pretty quickly because East Orange is a predominantly black place and also a lot of Caribbean people are here.
Okay.
So it was just like, oh, it's just a little subsection.
Right. At home.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like really excited when I went to East Orange Campus High School and I hear people talking patois and I'm just like, wait, this is nice. Like this is I'm loving this. So I adjusted really quickly because of that environment. It felt safe because I was used to hearing a patois. I hear people listen to dancehall music, hearing people talk.
Right.
It was a good like transition. Also, I made sure to utilize the resources there. That's another thing. Like I made sure if I didn't know something, I asked,
Right.
and I wasn't gonna be like, oh, you know, I'm not gonna ask. You know, I know what I'm doing. I didn't know what I'm doing. It was the first time I'm going to the school. My junior year, I obviously had to ask questions, and luckily enough, I had two amazing teachers that basically like took me under their wing, like Mr. Barone. He's my I had him for 2 years, so he's my gov teacher right now. And I also had Mr. Lansing, who is my AP Lit teacher. And they basically took me under their
wings,
wing.
okay.
Basically pardon?
Oh, go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah. So they basically took me under their wing and they're just like helped me with anything. So these two teachers are what helped me to get into Princeton. They made sure they look over my essays, my short answer questions. They made sure that every I was dotted, every T was crossed. They would make sure it was perfect. So I had those people to help me, and I also had two friends. They're both Jamaican. They're both migrated at the same time, Anise and DeAndrea. They helped me and they made sure that the process was smooth because my first day, I hated it. I did not like it. I didn't like the classes I was in. I didn't like everything. I was like, Mom, why did you make me move? I'm going to have to do an extra year of high school. You know, this is just, why did you do this? I was just upset at her, and I eventually got myself placed in different classes, more higher level classes, that was more geared towards my needs and like my intellect. So as I got that switch, it was really better. I met a bunch of people that were really supportive, and the resources available, you know, being in America and not a third world country, the unfortunate reality is that I got a lot of resources, and I made sure I jumped on those resources because a lot of people weren't utilizing them. So I'm just like, if you're not utilizing them, might as well.
Yeah.
Might as well I take up those stuff and use it. And everybody was like, if any like opportunity arises, people would always call on me because they knew that I was down for it. So that's one of the things that helped me transition. Honestly, the hardest thing to transition was the weather. Like, I miss the whole being sunny all the time, wearing shorts, not wearing sweaters and coats and stuff like that. Like, I remember my first like seeing snow for the first time, and I was just like, wait, what is going on? I didn't even want to wear coats because I thought that it looked weird, and my mother said, you're going to catch cold, so make sure you wear it. And I was just like, fine, I'll wear it. But the transition, like, I think my perception of the transition scared me more than the actual transition itself. Like I was psyching myself out, be like, I don't know how am I gonna go to school and do all of this, and how am I gonna be in American culture? How am I gonna thrive in America? But when I went there, I thrived.
Right.
Like I just needed to
It was
not
better than you
underestimate
expected.
myself.
It was better than you expected.
Yeah, it was definitely
Yeah.
better than I expected.
And you continued to excel at East Orange campus. And I'm going to read some of the achievements that you and your accomplishments. And I have to wonder, how did you manage all this? You were cross-examiner for East Orange campus debating team, vice president of the Spanish Honor Society, member of National Honor Society, member of the track and field team, really? Student leader for East Orange campus Social Justice Student Union, principal honor roll, homecoming queen for class of 2021. And outside of school, you are also very active as well. You were the
Yes.
2020 Questbridge College Prep Scholar, 2020 Questbridge National College finalist. So you are doing a lot of things. So
Yes.
can you tell us how did you find the time to do so many things and still maintain A's and a 4.0 GPA?
Yes, uh, definitely. I wondered the same thing out to myself. I said, how do I keep finding time to do stuff? And the thing is that I never say no. So even if I have a packed schedule, I'm still adding on stuff. I'm just like, how do I even find time? But being having a Caribbean mom, especially a Jamaican mom, you have to keep those grades up
Right.
regardless. Regardless. So there's no if and but. So I knew for a fact that my grades had to be A, they had to be top tier, regardless of what I was doing. So I had to make sure that I did that. So it was really hard, especially during the college season, because you have a lot going. Like college essays aren't easy to write. Like, so I used to, my typical day would be like, I would go to school from 8 till 1:40. Then I would have track practice after that. And then track practice would finish at like 5. And then I would have to come home, do my work, do my schoolwork, shower, eat, stuff like that, and then I had to be doing homework until like probably like 2 in the morning. So it was definitely a lot. How I found time, honestly, I don't know, cause I'm a really big procrastinator. But I try my best. If I have like a duty I have to fulfill, I'm gonna find a way to fulfill it regardless.
Right.
Sometimes that comes at the sacrifice of like I don't have much free time, and I don't have time to, like, if my friends say, oh, can we go out, I'd be like, I can't, I have this meeting to do today and stuff like that. And the thing is that, like, when you do stuff that you're passionate about, you'll find time, and
Right,
it
yeah.
won't seem as like a chore and stuff like that. So a lot of the stuff that I did was something I was passionate about, so I'm always
Right.
willing to give my time. And I think that's the key,
Okay.
like, definitely do stuff that you're passionate about, so it doesn't seem like, oh, I have to go do track for another 3 hours, or oh, I have to do the social justice union and stuff like that. So because I was passionate about it, I think like time just made, like, I just made time automatically or subconsciously. So yeah.
Okay. You're a student leader of the Social Justice Students Union. Can you tell me a little about that?
Yes, definitely. So the Social Justice Student Union of East Orange is basically a student-led organization, basically promoting racial equity and social justice education around in the East Orange community. So basically, we basically encourage, empower, and educate the East Orange youth about racial equity, about social justice, about the social issues that are facing America, and there's a lot going on right now. So the Social Justice Student Union was created amidst the pandemic and amidst the harsh racial climate that happened in 2020. So the death of George Floyd, Breonna Taylor, and all the other people that died due to police brutality. So they created the Social Justice Union, and I was one of the members that spearheaded it or pushed it or fueled it to what it is today. So I was one of the few people that started. It was like 5 of us starting, and now there's almost we had like 200 people at our last peace walk. So we definitely grew. So we've done a lot of stuff because even though it was like the pandemic and we can't do really in-person stuff. So we did a bunch of like showcases. We did something called the Asta Showcase, where people use their talents, whether it's singing, dancing, acting, whatever, to display social justice and promote social justice. We also had a bunch of town halls with the mayor. I was lucky enough to speak with the mayor to talk about social justice, racial equity, and like mental health as well. So we've been on talks with the mayor. We've also done a bunch of like forums and Q&As with prominent people in East Orange, like the councilwoman. We also did some with like the representative in New Jersey. So we've been doing that. We also been we were on NBC News because of our peace walks that we've been doing. So we've been doing a bunch of peace walks. We did peace walks. We did 4 peace walks for this month. The last one is gonna be next week, sorry. What these peace walks are basically like mini protests where we would walk around the block of our school and we would have a specific topic or issue that we want to bring awareness to. So we had anti-xenophobia, anti-gun violence. We had Black Lives Matter. We also had Love Has No Borders because it's Pride Month this month. So we had a bunch of stuff and it was successful. Like the first one was like small. We had like 10 kids, and now going back to our third one, we had almost 200 kids. We have different people. We had different representatives. We had news watching us and wanting to see what we were doing. So definitely we've been doing a lot, even though, the pandemic kind of limits us. But, social justice work never stops, even if there's a pandemic. There's always work that needs to be done. So that's what we've been doing so far.
So this interest in social justice, did it start while you were away, or did you always have an interest?
I feel like I've always had an internal interest for social justice or just helping the community. But in Jamaica, like the racial climate isn't as harsh as it was in America, so it's kind of like sheltered to it. Obviously, there was like little ounces of racial discrimination, like
class,
for example.
Class.
For example, like there was definitely colorism. I could definitely see that there was colorism in certain high schools, and there's different issues that we have. Like there was just the other day where a student was getting pressured to change their hairstyle because they had dreads. Like that should not be happening. So there's definitely, even though like the racial climate in Jamaica isn't as harsh as America, there's still work that needs to be done. There's still like colorism, there's still texturism that all relates down to racism, like racism, the root of all of that, and like white supremacy. So there's definitely work that needs to be done there, but I feel like I still had that internal stuff. But when I moved to the United States and being there for only a year, and I saw everything happen in my face, like all the deaths due to police brutality, it kind of opened my eyes, and I wrote about that with my in my essay. Opened my eyes to be like, wait, this is a black person's reality in America. Like I didn't have to worry about race and how my skin color and like if my stepdad was gonna be okay in Jamaica. But when I come here, your skin tone, your hair, your features, your Afrocentric features affect if you will live or not when you're due to your encounter with the police. So seeing all of those stuff, I remember seeing the video of George Floyd because it was plastered everywhere, unfortunately, and tears just ran down my eyes. I was just like, wait, why is this the reality of these people? These people are citizens. Like these people are living in America. They work, they pay taxes, they have families, they're promoting the economy, but still they're targeted just because of their skin tone, and they're seen as a threat because of their skin tone. So because I saw that kind of fueled me. So I started like writing a bunch of poems about it, and I was just like, I was like writing a bunch of poems about how I felt about the racial inequity that existed in America, but I didn't really have a platform to like post them, and I didn't have a platform to like talk about it, and I wasn't really allowed to protest. So these poems were my form of protest. So I would post them on social media, but that wasn't really like much of a platform because people really just skip past it and stuff like that, which was why I was so happy that the Social Justice Union was created, because it allowed me to have a platform where I could talk about racial inequities,
Right.
and people can hear my voice, because a lot of the time,
Mm-hmm.
especially in America, black voices, young voices, and especially women voices are often like silenced or suppressed due to the media. And because I have all of those three, I'm all black, I'm a young woman, I have those strikes against me, and I'm lucky enough to have a platform where I can talk about it. So I'm going to talk for people who might be afraid to talk or doesn't have that platform to talk. So that's why I've been doing all of this social justice work, to speak for the voiceless, and to just try to combat all
Mm-hmm.
the issues, or try to at least combat all the issues that are going on in America, and hopefully one day come back to Jamaica to fix the issues there as well.
But the Black Lives Matter movement, they have been caught up in some controversy
Yeah.
lately. Has that affected, has that dampened your enthusiasm or anything? Has it
Yeah,
affected you?
I definitely heard about that. I heard the whole controversy when it comes to them, and I realized that
Mm-hmm.
what it was at the beginning is not really what it was, like what it was is now. Like there's
Mm-hmm.
definitely stuff when it comes to like the
No.
founder and
Mm-hmm.
stuff like that, but everybody, like the Black Lives Matter thingy, to me is not more than just an organization. It is reality. It
Right.
is these people's lives. Like
Mm-hmm.
Black lives do matter. Like this is people's reality. So that doesn't didn't really dampen my thing, because regardless if the foundation is there or not, or if the organization is there or not, the need for people to hear that Black lives and Black students and Black families matter is still important, and I need to work just as hard, regardless of what controversy is going on with the organization. I still need to work hard and play my part. So it didn't dampen, but I'm still working, and hopefully still, even though I'm graduating, I plan to continue this work at Princeton and in my career.
Why Princeton
That's a good question.
rather than any other university?
um, I, uh, I chose Princeton because I kind of wanted to stay. I wanted to like stay close to home, because I don't know. I at first I was just like, yeah, I'm gonna go far away,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm gonna just like be far from my parents. But I realized that I've not been to anywhere in the United States but New Jersey. I don't know anywhere else but the East Coast. So why would I go so far away? What am I gonna do? Like if something happens, who
Okay.
am I gonna call on? They're not gonna drive 21 hours away to come see me. So I that was one of the things, like location. Um, Also, because Princeton is located in New Jersey, and it's kind of in it's kind of like you get the best of both worlds. So I get to live in New Jersey, but New York is just a few hours away, so I can go to New York if I feel like I want to. And there's also Pennsylvania. You can
Mm-hmm.
go to Pennsylvania if I want to. So I have those three worlds around me. So it's a great, like, variation. Also, Princeton. Uh, I didn't really do as much research as I should have done. Like, definitely, if you're applying to college, please do your research. But Princeton had a really good
Okay.
political program. They're really good with politics, and they
Okay.
coincidentally enough, created a new track in their political program called Race and Identity, which I plan to pursue, which kind of ties in with social justice and politics, which was one of the reasons why I wanted to apply there. Also, the resources and opportunities that come with an Ivy League school, and when people hear that you were from an Ivy League school,
Mm-hmm.
is what I
Yeah.
I wanted to market, not really market, but utilize that to my advantage, and I will definitely
Right.
be using all the
Definitely.
resources there at my school to help either build myself up so I can help other people along the way.
Um, your father passed away last year. That must have been devastating, and it must have been an emotional time. How did you deal with this setback, and what lessons did you learn?
Yeah, so it was definitely one of the like most heartbreaking things I've ever experienced. And it's still something that I'm dealing with right now, even though it's been like a year. But
Mm-hmm.
when I found out, I was just devastated. Like it was one of my biggest fears, especially because I was looking forward to seeing him. Like I was planning to visit him soon, and I was hoping to visit him soon, but I didn't get the opportunity to do that. And then I just remember just like tears. I was just like devastated. I was like extremely heartbroken. But I don't know. I just kept thinking about like if I did something differently, like what if I stayed in Jamaica, would it have made a difference? Or if I, you know, did I call him enough? Did I make check up on him enough? Did I do this enough? And I remember we had the strangely enough we had a phone call before he passed away, like a few days before, and we were talking about college, and we were talking about Questbridge, and we were just like, yeah, I'm gonna need your help to help me with these essays and stuff like that. But unfortunately, he wasn't here to do that. But I tried to. That's what I tried to do with most situations. I tried to use like the emotion and the feelings that I'm feeling to make something out of it. So I use all that hurt and grief and all that stuff to write one of my college essays. So one of my college essays were just basically how I felt about my dad passing away, and I tied it in with, because both of us really love mathematics, so I tied in our love for mathematics with him passing away, and basically use it kind of like a metaphorically. So there was a bunch of like mathematical terms, and I related it to a mathematical equation. It was I still to this day think that was the reason why it got me into Princeton. I don't know, but I just have a strong feeling that's why.
I think
But
so
I
too. I
remember.
mean, it was very good.
Thank you. Yes. So I just remember that I didn't really know how to cope with it because I've never had like a death that close to me before. And I didn't really nobody around me really had that type of like experience either. So I didn't know. I just cried a lot. I remember I cried a lot, and I kind of tried to like distract myself with school, and I tried to distract myself with college application, and wasn't really giving myself time to grieve because it's like you can't be grieving right now. You have college applications in a few months. You need to start prepping for that. You need to start finishing school strong. You have other things you can't afford to be sad right now. And I remember doing that, and I realized that wait, I can't be doing that to myself. Like you're just damaging your mental health. And it came to a point where I was just like, I'm not even gonna apply for a Questbridge. I'm not even gonna do Questbridge. Funny enough, I got in, but um, I remember I was like, I kind of was just like in a really bad place because I tried to like distract myself, and it just made it worse than I thought. Um, but then I realized that I should give myself time to grieve, and like, you know, work like you'll find time to do work. I'll find the time to do work. Like I needed to give myself like a few days to grieve, and everything else will fall in place. So yeah, that's how I dealt with it. Lessons I learned is that time, like I wrote about this in my essay too. Time is limited, and we kind of overestimate how much time we actually have. And we kind of be like, oh yeah, I can put this off for tomorrow, or oh, I can talk to them another day that we have time, or oh, we'll do this later, we'll do that. But it's really not true. Like time waits on no one. And
On
it's
no
just that you
one.
just have
Yeah.
to utilize your days, like utilize every hour you have. Make sure you're doing stuff that you actually enjoy, doing stuff that's actually fulfilling you, making you happy. Do stuff that you actually want, and spend time with people that you love, because you don't know what's gonna happen. So yeah, it definitely um those were like some of the lessons. I also learned that, prioritize your mental health. Like your mental health should come first before anything else. And I kind of put my mental health on the back burner for a lot of my years. I used to be like, I have to stay up and do work. I have to do this. Doesn't matter how stressed I am. I have to complete the stuff, when it doesn't work like that. I can't kill off myself doing these a bunch of work. Like what happens? Like the work is going to be there. If I kill off myself, what's going to happen? Like mental health come first. You have to be good mentally before you can do anything else, or serve anybody else, or do other activities. So those are stuff that I learned. I'm still learning. I'm still learning to cope with it. It's just really, you just kind of feel still empty, like nothing really can fill that. And although I know that he's like here with me all the time, it's just it's just hard to not be able to pick up the phone and like be like, oh hey, or like my graduation is coming soon. Not being able to see him there is kind of like a lot, but everything, I'm trying to keep positive and be like, everything happens for a reason. And, he wouldn't want me to be sad. So I try to, you know, continue making him proud because that's what he wants me to do. So, yeah.
What advice do you have for
Mhm.
young persons now? We're in a pandemic. Some persons
Yeah.
might be scared about the future, not so sure what will be happening.
Um,
What advice do you have
Definitely,
to pass on
advice
to
that I
them?
could give them is that things, this is like a quote I live like, things don't happen to you, they happen for you. Like, there's a lot going on right now. It can
Mm-hmm.
be very overwhelming, but you just have to realize that don't see these things as, oh, I'm gonna struggle, I'm gonna fail, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna do that. Don't think of these as like obstacles. Think of these as like things that are gonna propel you to the next level
Mm-hmm.
or prepare you for your next chapter in your life. So, amidst the pandemic, there's a lot going on. There is definitely a lot going on. It can take a toll on your mental health, your physical health, everything. So definitely, I believe it all boils down to mindset. So try. I know it can be hard when it's in troubling times. Try to have a positive mindset because that's where it begins first. Like if you wake up every day and be like, yeah, I'm gonna have a bad day today. Oh, I'm not gonna do well today. You're setting yourself up. You already defeated yourself. So just wake up with a positive attitude. Try to make the best of all the situation. Like, try to make the best of what's going on. Like, you can't go outside today. You can't go to different places. You can't go out with your friends. Develop a hobby. Like, look into yourself. What am I passionate about? And how can I pursue it amidst the pandemic? And that's what I did too. I didn't really pick up, like, I
Mm-hmm.
started my natural hair page during the pandemic because
Right, I saw
I
that.
realized I really love natural hair. I really love natural hair. So I was
Right.
like, how can I do this in the pandemic? So I created an Instagram page.
And what was the page
Oh,
again?
it's
What was the
called
name of the
it's
page?
called the Teenage Curl on Instagram. So
Right.
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So definitely just find stuff that you're passionate about, and that will help you. It will make you feel better during the pandemic, like because you're doing stuff that you're passionate about. It kind of distracts you. Another thing I would be is see, like, this falls in with the whole mindset thing. See the glass as half full and not half empty. It all boils down to your mindset. And there's definitely light at the end of the tunnel. You just have to make your way to that light. Like, if you just come every day and you're just like, yeah, it's gonna be terrible, this and this and that, this and this and that, you're gonna stay in that terrible position. You have to make the best of what you have. And that's what I've been doing my entire life, just trying to make the best and trying to remain positive, because I know for a fact, like, I used to wake up and be like, oh, just it's gonna be awful today. you know I'm not doing well today. I'm not gonna do well on this test. And what happened, I did just that. I didn't do well on the test. I had a terrible day. And when I started doing like positive affirmations, I started, you know trying to be positive and creating a positive mindset, I saw that I was attracting more positive things and I felt better. So definitely, it all boils down to
Mm-hmm.
mindset. Have a positive mindset, and it will definitely gonna be still tough, but it's gonna be way less, um, harder on you if you have a positive mindset.
And finally, what are some of the strategies for your success so
Mhm.
far that you'd like to pass on to the
Uh,
young people here in Jamaica?
Definitely. One, utilize your resources. Utilize them.
Mm-hmm.
Whether these resources are people, teachers, students, your classmates, your friends, the internet, utilize them. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to like look stupid because you're asking a question, or look stupid if you're asking for help. You're not. You're actually way smarter and you're
Mm-hmm.
way stronger. So definitely utilize the resources that you have, because when the people see that you actually are interested in what you're doing or interested in learning, they're gonna more be inclined to help you rather than you just sit there and you're just like, yeah, I'm not gonna
Mm-hmm.
ask. I'm too proud. I'm not gonna ask. I don't want anybody looking at me like I'm dumb. Definitely utilize your resources because there's a lot of resources there, and if they don't come to you, find them. Like, I found the Quest application in a random email I found, a random like message I found in my email inbox. And I ignored it, but then it came back and I was like, all right, I'm gonna do it. Nobody at my school told me to apply to Questbridge. I did it on my own. So that falls into the other
Mm-hmm.
advice. Sometimes you have to be your own advocate. If nobody's
Mm-hmm.
advocating for you, advocate for yourself. Make people know who you are. So like if you go in a classroom, sit at the front, like sit at the front, make sure people know, make sure the teachers know who you are. uh, yeah,
Right,
so all of
right.
my teachers knew who I am because I made sure my work showed who I am, my work ethic showed who I am, and my
Mm-hmm.
personality. So definitely like make people know you are, advocate for yourself. If you're into business, be like, if you're into business and you find like a business person that comes to your school, talk to them, ask questions. They're gonna remember who asked questions. You don't know how or when and whatever these people are gonna come back in your life, and they're probably gonna be the one offering you a job. So definitely ask them
Mm-hmm.
questions. You know, just see them engaged, and even if you have time, like if they're leaving, be like, "Hey, I really enjoyed your conversation. I really
Mm-hmm.
enjoyed what you said. Enjoy what you
Okay.
said. Can we connect? Can I get your email? Can I get your phone number? Stuff like that." So being your own advocate is definitely
Mm-hmm.
another thing. Also, another thing I would say is that the same old mindset thing. Like you have to have a positive mindset with everything. You have to, you know, the energy that you give out is what you're gonna get back. So definitely, if you have a positive mindset and stuff like that. Also, uh, what else would I say? Like, somebody told me that if you're the smartest in the room, you're in the wrong room. So definitely, definitely, like you
Yeah.
definitely like always try to push yourself. Like you don't stay in your
Yeah.
comfort zone. Like please do not stay in your comfort zone.
Mm-hmm.
Don't settle for like mediocrity or just what is everybody else is doing. Don't settle for or okay because these people are doing the same thing. I don't have to put in any more effort. Just do what don't do what just makes you pass. Try to always be exceptional.
Mm-hmm.
Try your best to work hard. Like even if you got a 95 to this test, strive for more. Strive, always keep striving for more because you don't know your talents and your passions and your work ethic go far beyond you think it does. Like you're way smarter, you're way stronger, and you're way more everything than you think you are. So definitely try pushing yourself. Try pushing yourself. Do not settle for normals. Don't settle for mediocrity. Um, and
Mm-hmm.
you don't have to do what everybody else is doing. Like you don't have to settle for what everybody else is settling. And it won't be easy. I'm telling you, like I'm not gonna sugarcoat it, be like, oh, it's easy to do certain stuff, or it's easy to apply to an Ivy League school, or it's easy to go to college or do anything. It's not easy. If it was easy, then everybody would be doing it. But
Mm-hmm.
if you're really passionate,
Right.
do it. And like just you just have to work hard. Like you have dreams and have aspirations, but if you're not working towards them, then they're just gonna be dreams and aspirations. You have to make the life that you want to live. You have to work hard, you have to do the certain stuff, you know and let me try to think. And there's so much things there's so much advice I could give. Also just
You've said a mouthful, and I'm sure we can all, learn something.
yes,
And I just want to say thanks for being on Mind Over Matter.
thank
And we'll be watching you.
you.
I will be watching you. And I know you'll be doing politics at
Princeton,
Princeton.
yes.
And I hope that you'll come back to Jamaica one day and
Yes,
probably serve us in that capacity.
definitely. I'm
And it was great talking to you.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. It's a pleasure being here.